Hey everyone, Brian here. At this point, you may or may not have already heard, but I will be ending the Omega Odyssey after this episode. This decision was actually made as early as episode 2, but since we already had episodes 3 and 4 recorded, we figured we'd release them anyway for those of you who do enjoy watching this type of content. As for why, there's two main reasons. One is that the videos have done very poorly in almost every single metric, and for how much work they are to record and edit, it just wasn't really worth the time being spent. Reason 2 is more of a personal thing. In general, I have not been having a lot of fun grinding Omega Ladder in this format, and it's not just that Maliss hate is ubiquitous, but also that Mitsurugi Fiendsmith Phrysial is probably one of the most unfun decks I've ever played against, and I might get a lot of flack for calling another deck unfun when I'm a Maliss player myself. But to me, Maliss genuinely feels much easier to deal with, if only because there are so many quote-unquote silver bullets for the deck. Mitsurugi Fiendsmith Phrysial, if their combo goes uninterrupted, will set up a board just as oppressive as Maliss, yet the deck has so far fewer cards to answer them. It plays very well into traditional hand traps and Eva Molcharmies, and pretty much only Droll and Lockbird can shut down the deck, but even Droll won't work 100% of the time. So anyway, I just wanted to take a moment to thank all of you who have been watching the Omega Odyssey for your continued love and support. Perhaps sometime in the distant future we can revisit this concept, but for now, please enjoy episode 4, and I'll see everyone in the next video. Welcome to the Omega Odyssey. In this series, I will be climbing the Yu-Gi-Oh! Omega ranked ladder, starting all the way from the lowest rank of Bronze all the way to the highest rank of Omega. However, to give myself more of a challenge, the goal of this series is not Omega rank itself, but rather top 10 on the Yu-Gi-Oh! Omega TCG leaderboards. If I cannot achieve that for the NAWCQ Nationals taking place in July, the challenge will be considered failed, and I must endure a punishment that will be voted on by the members of our Discord. Make sure to tune in every week for a new episode. Previously. And they are playing Link bullshit, so... Well, I guess I shouldn't say that. Pretty unfortunate day today, but... Oh no. Oh no. Alright, let's go for Dormouse. See if the Fulo sticks here. Yeah, I think we'll Ash the Shadow Squad here. Buy out of some Lurry, we're going to Fulos here. Here comes the called by or cross out check. Yeah, unfortunately I think Fulos is probably too slow here. We have one more trigger for this. Bomber. They played it into the impermanence column. Lost the rock, paper, scissors. You have 3 hand traps though. The goal for episode 4 is... It would be nice if we could make it to Diamond today. That would be over 300 rating in one episode, which might be a bit tough. So we'll see. We might get pretty close. If we can make it into Diamond, that would be a pleasant surprise. I think here, instead of Dormouse, I'm gonna go for White Rabbit instead, because Rabbit can set our MTP07, which can search our Dormouse, and that would be better than our Dormouse just getting sent to the graveyard by the Paradise. Yeah, it looks like they know that too, so they're not just gonna fire the Paradise right away. It was Nibiru. That is actually really annoying. I think the best we can do is probably just set 2 and pass. And the next turn we can use Hair to try and generate more bodies. Although both our rabbits are banished, which is actually super annoying. Alright, game 1 down. Hand is not too bad. Come to tip here, okay. And that is why you don't play Runic in this environment. They're not even going to make Requiem. So their hand must be full of a bunch of Runic spells then, if they feel safe enough to not make Requiem. And we got Chessie off the top, basically as if Dormouse never got negated. I'm gonna use the wizard first because the wizard is less flexible than March Hare. So if they nib us here, then we can still recover with March Hare. Yep, exactly like I thought. And he knew about this March Hare too, like he literally gave us this March Hare off of his tip vanish. Yeah, don't play Runic in this format, guys. Going second again. Do have Fuelos though. White Forest. Yeah, I think this is a go next. It's possible, but we have a lot of rating to climb, and so I'm not gonna spend too much time just watching my opponent combo here. And it's not bad. Do have to contend with the Fuelos, but I think it's not the end of the world here. I mean, I feel pretty good about just setting impermanence and impulse and passing. Because for me to set up a ransom mirror here, I would need to give them 2 draws. So like if impermanence and impulse each answer a card from my opponent's hand, like they need to have like the perfect 3-card combo in their deck to be able to play next turn. They have another Fuelos. That is irritating, but I mean, we know the last card is Diabellstar Vengeance, and he doesn't have any more spells and traps to actually summon her. Yeah, I think we feel pretty good about honestly just passing again, and we did just draw a Droll, so even if they do have combo off the top, they're not going to be able to kill us through Droll. So we're just going to pass again. Alright, game 3. 3 Charmies. Yeah, bit overkill. But let's go ahead and drop the Purlio. This is a tough situation, because I could try and combo, but if I do, these 2 Fueloses in my hand are dead. The issue is, if they were comfortable with just passing, then they for sure have like a Lancia to counter our plays. But like, if I just pass here and use like Fuelos, it's not even a guarantee that we can get their Lancia out. Like, we have to bait their Lancia out somehow, otherwise we have to deal with it on a future turn anyway. So I think, unfortunately, I'm going to have to just normal summon the cat here and see what we can get accomplished. They have Impermanence. Okay, that's not as bad as Lancia. They for sure would have Lancia'd there, so I guess they maybe don't have Lancia. Why did they not do that on the summon of access code? They might have just accidentally right-clicked too fast? That's the only thing I can think of. There we go. Nice. Alright, going first this time. Pretty good hand. It's Blue Eyes. Sure. We can MTP banish the True Light when they try to go for its effect. Unfortunately, Lingaribo can't negate trap effects, only trap activations. But let's go for the MTP here. And we'll banish the True Light. Nice, game 1 down. No starters again. Gotta hope the top deck gets us there. Oh, nice. Alright, going first. Oh man, this hand is not good at all. We can combo, but it loses to every hand trap in the game. So we can just pass and try to bank on the Fuelos getting us draws, but I mean, if I pass, I have Fuelos, Ash, Impulse. Surely no deck can play through that, right? Yeah, I'll pass here, and we'll see if I get punished for it. But I think it's a bit too risky to try and combo with a hand like this. Like, if the Fuelos was like an Imperm, I would definitely try and combo, because my combo wouldn't turn off my most important hand trap. But since Fuelos is one of the hand traps, and it gets turned off if I try to combo, I would ideally like to make use of this Fuelos for sure. Not sure what my opponent's trying to go for here. They're gonna link straight for Cryptor. Alright. So they are trying to go for a low to the ground Cryptor OTK. But the issue with the Cryptor OTK, especially if you didn't have access to White Rabbit, is they have to use the Cryptor effect to banish herself. And then I can just summon any Bestial to chump block the 5600 attack Cryptor. And it wouldn't be game anymore. So here, we'll just use the Drosworm. They haven't used either Dormouse or Martyr's banish effect, so unfortunately we will have to give them back one of these. I think I'll put the Martyr back in their hand. Yeah, if you go for the low to the ground Cryptor OTK, you ideally want to have a Maliss trap set. That way you can use your Cryptor banish on, you know, a Bestial that comes out to block your attack. Yeah, I think I misplayed that. I should have normal summoned the Chessie. That way I could put Chessie in grave so this Baldrake is an extender. Yeah, alright. That was my misplay. Alright, well, hand looks pretty good, but let's see if our opponent has something to answer it here. We'll go for the Chessie effect. They have Fuelos. That's not the worst here, actually. I'll go ahead and pass it there. Permanence on Bomber again. That's unfortunate. Yeah, that's the weakness of the Bomber line. Is if your opponent just has like an impermanence, that's a pretty easy out. Into Mouse Banish. Chessie here. We'll go ahead and just use the Impulse. It's hard to get value out of Impulse in the mirror because your opponent can just make Lingaribo at any point. So we'll just get the value out of the Impulse now. That's an interesting order out of them. If they use Cryptor Effect to banish herself here, then we can chump block with Magnamud. I think they probably should have used GWC to banish the Cryptor instead. That way they can use Cryptor Effect to banish any Bystials I summon. They're on a super low life total. I think I'm just gonna look at their hand using talents. If they have a Nibiru, I'll take the Nibiru out. If they don't have anything else, then we can easily just make access code. They're gonna have to Cryptor banish the access code, and then we can March Hare to make Cryptor and Cryptor into any of their Link monsters will be game after Cryptor banishes herself, of course. So. As long as I don't play into like an impermanence column here, which I actually don't remember which columns my opponent's cards have been in. I know this middle column was the GWC one, I think, so we'll play the talents here, and I'll look at my opponent's hand. Okay, there was no Nibiru, so we'll just take away the March Hare here, and we should be able to just lock this up. And then this should be game, just attacking over the red ransom. Was a little bit sloppy from my side there, and our opponent's side. We were both pretty sloppy that game, but we did end up coming out ahead. Oh, this is not looking good. We only have the Imperm here. Oh. Looks like our opponent had a weird hand as well. Feather Duster as a 1-for-1 doesn't feel great, but I guess we have to do this in case it's something like a Solemn Strike or Solemn Judgment. I guess we'll start with Gold Sark, see if they have the Lancia. They do have the Lancia. I think looking at the hand is just too good, even if it's just a handful of hand traps. At least then we know what we're dealing with. Thrust, Ash, and Wizard. This is tricky, because I don't know how well we can actually play around Thrust next turn. If they Ash our backup, I think it's actually fine if they Ash our backup, because we don't really need the Wizard. We can still make Ransom regardless. I think the Thrust is the take here, because this Wizard, he has the normal summon, or it's not lot. Yeah, there's no way for him to really make this Wizard live as long as we beat over this Dormouse. So I think we just take away the Thrust here. Then we go normal summon Cat. Go for the Lingerie Bow. Use backup effect. Backup to search. They'll probably Ash this. They're thinking really hard. I guess we kind of tipped our hand by not taking away the Ash, because they probably realized that if we didn't take away the Ash, it means we don't really care about it. So is there really any point for them to actually use the Ash here? Okay, they still will Ash though. That's good for us. Oh, March Hare top deck is really bad for us. I feel like they should have gone for the Splash Mage on the Lingerie Bow. I mean, they know the two cards in my hand, so they know that I don't have a Nibiru. They don't have to play around the Nibiru. Yeah, that was a misplay on their part, but we take this. Hand is not bad. They are on Crystron. I'm not going to draw right away, since I do have a few effects that also need to search. So what we're going to do here is we're going to flip MTP. They're probably going to chain Tristaros. We're going to then mirror the Tristaros. And that'll let us get basically all of our follow-up, and then the next time they search, we can drop the draw on them. So yeah, let's flip the MTP. They have Ash. We might have to just draw and not be able to search any of our follow-up, but I think that's fine. Smiger search inclusion. We'll go ahead and draw here. Yep, we'll go for Nova. We'll use the March Hare here to make our Ransom untargetable. And I believe Infinity has to target an attack position monster. So he shouldn't be able to target anything here. He would have to go battle phase to attack over the March Hare first, but Underground will force him to attack the Ransom, so he actually can't really get through this lock. There we go, game 1 down. Alright, this is certainly one of the hands of all time. Oh, I don't know why I didn't Perulia during standby phase. I think I mistaked it for Fuelos. That's a misplay on my part. They are passing. Unfortunately, we do not have a playable hand either, so this is not going to be a very fun game. Looks like they did not draw a starter either. Don't draw a starter off the top, please. That is not really a starter, but we can try and dig for an extender to make it work. There we go. Nice. 56 rating. Hand would have been great going first. Oh, they're not even gonna try. Yeah, I don't know why they just surrendered there. They could have at least waited to figure out what we were playing. Yeah, I'll go battle to at least clear this Necroquip first before we go for Lizard and try to make something happen. Enemy controller. Well, we certainly would prefer getting Baldric turned to defense than them stealing our Haggard Lizardus. Yeah, we'll just surrender there. Oh no, this hand is not very good. The best we can do with this is to just add a name, discard the other I Meet You, and at least turn on our mirror. But it just feels so bad. Unless they kept like a droplet in their hand, that would be really bad here. But there's no reason for them not to set it. Wow. So I guess that means it's probably a second droplet that's set then, because there's no reason you wouldn't set the droplet. Yeah, that's really bad for us. Yeah, that really sucks. But I mean, hindsight is 2020. Really couldn't have known that. If they use droplet in the damage step here, it's not a terrible trade for us. We do take a bit of damage, but makes them use up two cards. So March Hare off the top would be insane here. Oh, it's talent. That might be game over. Even if we stop the ritual next turn, we just might not have enough life points to push through. Yeah, that's so unfortunate. Another loss because we bricked. Going second again. Well, we better hope this Allure draws us something good. Let's see what this Allure has in store. That works. It's not great, but the backup does work here at least. Yeah, I don't know what my opponent was doing there. Alright, 2 Charmies, not too bad. And we do have Rabbit plus backup, so pretty good hand, all things considered. Our opponent's on 50 cards. That might explain how game 1 turned out. We do have Lancia. So we won't be able to go too crazy this turn, but we do have the backup to still establish a pretty decent board regardless. They play Ogdoadic cards too. I mean, that's how you know it's cope. Nice, easy game. Alright, going first. Oh man, this hand is a bit rough. It does lose to 1 impermanence. They held the imperm. Usually most people would fire the imperm on the Dormouse, but I did contemplate making the lizard there, but it was a risk I took, and I did get punished for it. Oh well. Has backup in hand already too. God damn, March Hare too. Their hand really was crazy. It's like so unnecessary. Like they could have just gone access code. Yeah, let's just go next. Oh, are you kidding? Of course we brick here. I mean, it is what it is. Of Chaos Hunter. Well, now there's something interesting we can do. Because if we out the Chaos Hunter, we can actually steal it for ourselves. And if they can't out it, then yeah, I'm gonna let him summon the Chaos Hunter, and we're gonna try and steal it. Thankfully, we have the impulse to stop the Nibiru, so nice. Stealing our opponent's Chaos Hunter, you love to see that. If this Meowth resolves, we should be in a pretty good situation, but do they have the Ash? They do. We're gonna have to hope the Imperm gets us there. They had the Rabbit already. I mean, our hand's not bad, but if our opponent just doesn't play like an idiot here, I'm pretty sure there's no way we can win from this position. Yeah, I don't think it's worth sticking around. Let's just go on to the next game. Lost the rock, paper, scissors again. Hand is looking pretty good though. Alright, they have the Habakiri. Hopefully this draw resolves. But knowing all my Mitsurugi opponents, they'll probably have the called by with a cross out. Okay, no called by or cross out. That's good. They're just going to pass. I guess they have Charmies in their hand then. Yeah, let's try and go for Cryptor and kill him. So I'm going to give him 2 draws here. One from this Lingaribo, and then one from making Cryptor. And then we're going to Talons Rip the hand. Ash, that's okay. So let's make the Cryptor here. And then we'll look at the hand. They're chaining Nibiru. Oh, they don't have a card, so we can't impulse them. That is a little annoying. We'll chain the MTP. Nice, game 1 down. Well, 3 Charmies, a bit overkill, but at least better than seeing none. They are going to commit to it. Oh, they're going to droll. That's not good for us. And they get to establish cross as well. Jeez. Yeah, that's really bad. We gotta deal with detonator cross. Well, they had the Lancia anyway. Yeah, alright, we can go next then. Again, we're drawing a lot of normal summons. Thankfully, we have Called By in case our opponent has Lancia, but really don't like seeing too many of these. Yeah, let's lead the Dormouse here. Let's hope they don't have a second Lancia. Of course they have a second Lancia. I mean, what can I say? Like, they had 2 Lancias. That is so depressing. Hey guys, post-editing Brian here. You can probably tell by the video that at this point I was getting pretty tilted by the losses we were getting. At the time I was really close to making it to Diamond and I wanted to end the video at that rank, but by some divine intervention, every single rank up game had some unfortunate circumstance that would cause us to lose and drop back down. It was honestly really frustrating, and what I should have done was stop and resume the next day after I had cooled off, but instead I continued to play out of just pure stubbornness, sometimes to the detriment of my own technical play. This is definitely a do as I say, not as I do situation. Please do not play when you are tilted, it just makes for an unfun and frustrating play experience. But in any case, at this point I was so locked in that I more or less stopped giving commentary and just played the games in mostly silence. I'm still going to include these games in the background, but sped up, so that those of you who want to watch can just put it on a lower speed, and hopefully it might still be of some use to you guys in that form. In any case, see you guys at the end of the video. finally. Well, it was a really up and down night, but we finally made it to Diamond. Oh, I don't even know how I'm going to be editing this video. Yeah, for that last part, I really just locked in and didn't have much commentary. So, hopefully everyone still found the video to be somewhat enjoyable. But yeah, I think that's where we'll end the video. See everyone in the next episode.